All right, so what we're gonna be doing today is changing the oil on this Mini Cooper 2016. This is the Countryman with a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. It's spec'd out at 4.4 quarts of oil with a 0W30. Since we're here in South Florida, it doesn't really get cold. We are gonna be using the Pennzoil 5W30 European spec with a BMW long life. We're also gonna be using the Fram Tough Guard. This is the TG 166. Fram makes a great oil filters with a fantastic micron rating. So the oil filter is under the coolant reservoir. We have to remove that to get to it with a 10mm socket. And for the oil drain plug, it's an 8mm Allen. And for the oil filter cap, it's a 27mm socket. So we're gonna go ahead and go over all of that. We're gonna be using a torque wrench to make sure that we don't over tighten any of our bolts. Obviously, you're gonna lift up the vehicle. Always use your jack stands and proper locations for your jack. Now you could also use your ramps if you desire, make the job a little bit easier. And always check your owner's manual for your specs depending on your region. If you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. Don't forget to like and follow. Check out some of our links. They do help out the channel. So. Where you have a little handle down here, you gotta pull up. There it is. Like I mentioned, this one is 0W30, so we're gonna go ahead and use 5W30. And you're gonna go ahead and remove this 10mm here to remove this to get to the oil filter cap. So using your 8mm Allen, go ahead and remove it. I usually like to replace my oil drain plugs with magnetic ones and add magnets to my oil filters, especially my other cars. I believe there's a company that sells the oil filter cap with a magnet in it. Put some of the links below, see if you want to check those out. But by adding the magnets, collects a lot of the ferrous metals and helps out with picking up all those things. So, all right, so the oil filter comes with the oil filter cap O-ring and your brand new crush washer. So after you clean out your plug, let's go ahead and install the brand new crush washer. Make sure it fits properly. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and put the drain bowl back on with the new crush washer. Let's clean it real good. Let's go ahead and torque it to 22 foot-pounds. All right, so we're good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move your drain pan to under the oil filter, and we're also gonna be lowering the car to level so it's easier to work. All right, so using your 10mm, we're gonna go ahead and remove this bolt right here. You're gonna kind of like pop it up just a little bit, and the bottom comes out going that way, and then you could go ahead and move it up. Make sure your lid is closed. You're gonna have to kind of push it to the side. All right, so now you're able to access your oil filter cap. All right, so using your 27mm and your extension, 6 inches, one of these actually works pretty good. So if you want to, set this up like that, if you have one of those universal adapters here, it's going to go all over the place unless it's the one that kind of like stays nice and still. But this little setup right here should just work fine. If you want to put a rag under the filter, because it is going to drip a little bit, plus your oil pan just in case. Make sure you put it in, locks in, and there we go. And once it becomes loose, then you can go ahead and remove. All right, so we're gonna try to take it out and flip it upside down. That way it doesn't make much of a mess. Go ahead and remove the little rag that I put down here. Clean everything really good. Didn't drip as much. All right, so let's go ahead and remove the oil filter. Basically just snaps in. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it so I can clean it up a little bit. Always check the pleats, make sure you don't see any metal or anything like that. Use a flashlight. Everything looks pretty normal. Sometimes I like to put my oil filters under the microscope to see if there's any metals or anything like that. So, all right, so let's just go ahead and toss this. Wipe it really good. I believe they make this in aluminum, so if you want to upgrade it. I think the design of this Mini Cooper, this oil filter location, it's a little bit off. I know some of the new ones come with it on the bottom side of the vehicle. All right, so let's go ahead and replace the O-ring. Very easy to do. Normally what I do, I just kind of push on it like that, and you can see a little bulge right there. I grab it and out it goes. No tools, no picks or anything like that. Sometimes you can scratch this area here, especially where the O-ring sits, and you definitely don't want to do that. Just got to be very careful. And then in this same groove right here, you're going to go ahead and put the new O-ring. This O-ring felt very, very loose, and you're going to use a little bit of the lubrication, and you want to always lubricate the O-ring. All right, and that's it, and we're ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and install the oil filter. It's either side. There's no markings or anything like that, so it pops in there and it locks in, and make sure it's nice and tight. All right, let's go ahead and install it. All right, let's go ahead and put the filter in. You have to push down on those little holes right here, and with your hand wiggle it in there. Okay, you must screw it in by hand. There we go. Slowly screw it in as far as you can. You're going to go ahead and put the 27 mil socket on there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten the oil filter cap to 25 Newton meters. I did have to add this little extension to the other extension to be able to get to it, or you could do the universal adapter, whichever way is easier for you. So 25 Newton meters. All right, and we're good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this back. You need to use these two little tabs right here to insert it in this section. You will see it there, and then after you insert it, then you're going to go ahead and put this into the bushing that you'll see down there. Very simple. Top first, push down, and it clips on, and then you put your 10 millimeter. And that's it. All right, time for the best part. Let's go ahead and remove your oil cap. Give it a nice little wipe. Make sure it's nice and clean. A lot of the times you get a little bit of dirt around it, so clean it on the outside, but be careful it doesn't fall inside. Make sure your funnel is clean. Mine's a little old, but it works fantastic. So since it does take 4.5 quarts, we're not going to put the full 5 quarts. I'm going to go almost to the end, and then we'll go ahead and start the car, measure it, and go from there. You could always check, to see more or less where you are. Just look a little bit more. All right, so once you turn it on for a couple minutes, Let us circulate the oil. Let's go ahead and let it sit for another minute and then clean the dipstick. And check the oil. One of the things I like about this one that it has an actual dipstick. Some of the newer ones don't. All right, so right there, we're good. Perfect. All right, once you're done, make sure that your oil cap is on, everything, check all the fluids, and you don't leave any tools in the engine compartment, and check for oil leaks just in case. All right, so let's go ahead and reset the oil life on the vehicle. We're gonna press and hold this button with the car on. And once you hold it for a few seconds, that's your oil life. I'm gonna go come here and press this little button in, push in, hold it until it says reset. And then go ahead and press it again and hold. You see a little clock right there, and you're pretty much good to go. You're all reset. If you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. Thanks for watching, and check out some of the links. They do help out the channel.